What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a video talking about Molly water. I'm going to be telling a little story about my first time drinking Molly water. It's a hoot and a holler, but before I dive into that, I would like to mention a couple things. First off, drop a like on this video if you guys do enjoy. Second off, check out my other upload of the day. I opened some fan mail. If you guys want to get your mail opened in a video, I will open any and everything. Just check the description for the P.O. box address and mail me whatever the fuck you please, as long as it's not drugs. Don't mail me drugs. And third and final thing, hit me up on PSN. All right, hit me up on PSN. Actually, I lied. It's not the final thing. My PSN will be in the description. But the fourth and final thing, guys, all right? I swear this is the final thing. I am 100 followers away from 3K on Twitter. Let's make it happen. I really want 3K. So if any of you guys have a Twitter and you don't follow me yet, hit me up on Twitter. It'll be linked in the description, or you can see it in the top right on my overlay. My @ is the Goblin with 3 N's on the end. Please hit me up, drop a follow, get me that 3K juice, baby. You know how I'm rocking. I would be very grateful if you guys did. And also, expect another video on my second channel today. I completely lied. I completely lied about the last thing. That was the final thing, all right? The second channel video is the final thing. But without further ado, let's dive into it. So, Molly water. Now, my first and only time drinking Molly water, this was a while ago. This was, I want to say, like April of 2016, all right? And at the time, I was chilling with my buddy who we're going to call Andrew. Now, Andrew was my connect for a lot of my harder drugs, especially my psychedelics, and also just a really good buddy of mine at the time. So me and Andrew were chilling and just chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. And on this particular day, we felt like doing some Molly. Now, I wasn't tripping. We weren't candy flipping or anything. I think he was tripping, so he candy flipped. But I just did the Molly and smoked some weed. Like, that's basically all I did. I smoke weed on every single drug I do. Like, basically, except for K. K is the only drug that I, like, never really smoke on. But besides that, I smoke weed on essentially every drug I do. Even if, like, it's not worth it and doesn't do shit. I don't care. But anyways, so we're riding around in my car. We're chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. And Andrew's got the Molly. Now, he's got a pretty good amount of it because he's selling some, and I don't know where he got it from. He would never really tell me, but he had them in the crystals, and he would actually grind them up himself and cap it up. So we would always go to the store and buy like those little diet supplement pills and then just empty it out and cap it up together. So I knew that this guy had some really fucking good pure Molly because he was getting it in the crystal. This shit wasn't even capped up when he got it. Like, he'd showed me, we'd capped it up together. So anyways, we were riding around, and he still had a bunch of stuff to cap up. So what we did was we wanted to get fucked up before we kind of drove around and served a couple people. So we pulled over, and we had this little Arizona iced tea, you know, the Arnold Palmer's, or not the Arnold Palmer's. It was like, I think it was like the mango flavored Arizona, you know, the little like plastic bottle. We had one of those, and we were like, wow, you know, this would go really well with some fucking Molly. It's a fruity flavor. That's perfect. So we also had this girl in the back of the car who we're going to call Megan. Now, Megan was not super experienced at this point with many drugs at all. She'd never done Molly. She'd never done acid. She'd never really done any of those hard drugs. Now, eventually, she started dating my buddy Andrew, and then she got super into all the heavy drugs. But at this time, they weren't dating. They were just kind of like interested in each other, but neither of them knew that the other was interested. But I knew because Megan would tell me, and then Andrew would tell me like how he felt about her, and like I was just kind of the middleman in this. But either way, so Megan's sitting in the backseat, Andrew's sitting shotgun, and I'm driving the car. And we pulled over, and we got this little Arizona, and we open it up, and Andrew pulls out this big old chunk of Molly, this big old little crystal. Let me tell you, it was beautiful. Now, we didn't even bother to scale it out, so I don't know how much it was. But I looked at it because I was like, dude, that's a fat fucking crystal. And he was like, yeah, I know. We estimated, because we were discussing it later, we were like, how much do you think was in that? We estimated it was maybe a 0.4 or a 0.5, but him and I split the drink, so we didn't each do that much. Like, we both drank half of it together. So anyways, and then Megan ended up taking up like one sip, but I'll get to that later. So anyways, Andrew just drops it in there, and this is a good way to test your Molly, guys, by the way. If you have capped up Molly that's already ground up and powdered and you want to know if it's real, if you're willing to, you know, if you're okay with Molly water, put it in water, you know, like open up the cap and dump it in water because Molly, is super duper water soluble. Like, this shit will dissolve. So if you have anything that's not Molly in that cap, anything that's not dissolving, it's not Molly. Like, it's not MDMA. End of story. Like, that's a pretty surefire way to figure out if your Molly is cut or not. Little pro tip right there. But anyways, so, and you don't have to buy any testing kits. You literally just need a glass of fucking water. But anyways, so back on topic. So we dropped the crystal in there, estimated it was like maybe a 0.4.5, and we leave it in there for maybe like 5 minutes before we start sipping it, close the cap back up, drive around. We hit this one serve because Andrew was serving a lot of people. I wasn't really selling too much at this point, but he was. So, excuse me, I just like cough burped. I don't really know what the fuck happened, but either way. So we hit that serve, and finally he's like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just trying to chill. Let's just not hit any more serves. Let's just relax. So we didn't really do much on this particular night. We didn't really relax. We just kind of drove around to random places and kicked it and banged music like all the way down the street. But anyways, so we open up the bottle of Arizona, and Andrew's the first one who takes a sip. He takes a swig, and then he passes it to me. I take a swig, and we just kind of keep passing it back and forth, taking sips out of it. Now, Megan's in the back seat, and I believe she was stoned at this point. I don't really know, but she'd never done Molly before, and she saw us drinking, and she was like kind of asking questions, like, how does it make you feel? What's it like? And Andrew's like, you want to try it? Like, are you really that interested in it? And she's kind of hesitant at first. She's like, I don't know. Like, what's this like? Like, what's it gonna do? There was a little bit of fear in her that I sensed, but we explained it. We told her it's okay. It's basically happiness and a drug. Like that's essentially what Molly is. I just heard like a super fucking loud bang in my garage, which like tweaked me out. That's why I paused right there. Literally sounded like someone just broke into my house. Hold on, we're gonna go check if there's a robber. I'm completely unarmed. Excuse me. Okay. All right. I don't know what saying excuse me would have done. But anyways, no robber in the house. So, as I was saying, so Megan was kind of curious, never really tried Molly before, and Andrew's like, oh, you want to try it? She's hesitant. She's like, I don't know, maybe. And Andrew's like, if you want to, just go for it. And she was like, he was like, if you want to, the bottle's up here. We're just going to keep sipping. So we kept sipping and sipping, just going back and forth, taking swigs out of it. And finally, it got to about maybe like a third or a quarter of the Molly water left. And Megan is like, yeah, let me try this. Let me get a sip of this. So we pass it back to her. And this is one of the funniest parts of this day. Excuse me, I started right there. But she takes like one sip, maybe two, but like as far as we saw, it was literally one sip. That was also not very big at all. And she passes it back up to us, right? So me and Andrew just kill it. We just finish it off back and forth, taking swigs. And at this point, very quickly, very soon after we finished it, like we were already starting to feel it, like as we were downing it. But after maybe like, oh God, I'm trying to think of how much time it took, because this was a while ago, guys. This was like 9 months ago at this point. I want to say after like maybe 15, 20 minutes, we were feeling it pretty heavy. Like we were rolling pretty hard. So me and Andrew were sitting there. He was in shotgun. I was driving, and we were just banging music, driving down the street, hooting and hollering, having a good old fucking time. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what Molly is like or what it does to you, I'm not going to be one of those guys who's like, go watch my video on it, because no, I'm not that fucking guy. But basically, it just makes you really happy and euphoric. It's not very visual. It doesn't really fuck you up. You're not like, blackout fucked up on it. You're just really happy and euphoric, and music is incredible. So like, I don't encourage it, but if you really had to, you can drive perfectly fine on Molly. Like, I don't encourage it just because still it's a drug, but like, I'm going to be completely honest, I did it all the time. If it was just Molly, I would drive all the time. But anyways, so back on topic there. So we were rolling pretty hard, Andrew and I, and we kind of look back, and Megan is like, we believe this was like some placebo effect shit where she just like took one sip and then just convinced herself that she was rolling balls with us, because she's just like completely in it. Like she's just like listening to the music, head bumping, just loving it. She's like yelling out the window. She's like, this is great. Like, I feel awesome. And like me and Andrew were just sitting here laughing our asses off because like she took literally one sip. Literally, like she could have gotten no more than like maybe 0.05 of Molly, if even. I highly doubt it. Like probably less than that, like the smallest little bit. And she's acting like she just dropped like 2 rolls. Like she's in it harder than any of us. So Andrew and I are just driving around banging music, and like that's the thing. Like normally when you're sober, that's only fun for so long, but when you're on Molly, just driving around banging music on some good car speakers is awesome. It's fucking great. We just wasted so much gas. So eventually we stopped at a Walgreens that was kind of near my house to go in and grab some snacks and some drinks and just chill out for a little bit. So we leave Megan outside because she wants to smoke a square, and me and Andrew go inside. And we're just, as soon as we get in the doors, he looks at me and he's just like, fucking white girls, bro. And we just started laughing our asses off because, like, I don't know, dude. It's just the stereotypical, like, the running joke that just white girls get way more fucked up than they should be. And this was just, like, the perfect example of that. Like, oh my God. It was hilarious. So, anyways, we grab our snacks, we get like some more of those Arizonas, because Arizonas, dude, 99 cents for a solid quality drink, always smacking. We have some Arizonas. I grabbed like a bag of Cheetos, and I think Andrew grabbed like a pack of gum or some shit. Now, Andrew is a fucking animal, dude. This guy doesn't pay for anything. Like, he has money, he just doesn't pay for anything. He steals everything. So this guy just pockets it and walks out, and I watch him do it. Meanwhile, I go wait in line because I have like literally $2 worth of shit. Like, I'm not stealing that. I don't care, you know? So I'm standing in line, you know, I pay for my shit. I go back out. And Megan is sitting on the ground, like literally not on the curb, not like standing up leaning against my car, on the pavement in the middle of a parking spot next to us, just on the ground, like smiling as hard as she can. And I just find this hilarious. Like, I'm already like laughing on the inside. Like, I'm just like, my God, dude, what have we done to this girl? Like, you could already tell she's going to do so much of this drug in the future. And she did, believe me. But anyways, so I walk back out, and Andrew's sitting there talking to her, and she gets up and she's like, I just want to hug you guys right now. And like, me and Andrew both look at each other like, what the fuck? Like, she's on something, like she's off it right now. So Andrew just starts laughing. He's like, okay, you know, go ahead. Like, in this kind of like sarcastic way. And she gets up and hugs me, and then she hugs him, and she's like, I fucking love you guys. And like, we're just sitting here like, oh my God, like, what have we done? So finally, this was a decent time to our trip, or not our trip, our role, I guess, our experience, whatever you want to call it. And we were kind of coming down at this point. You know, we've been driving around for a long time. We didn't really do shit. We were maybe like, I want to say like 2.5, 3 hours into the trip at this point. So what we ended up doing was Megan had to go home. So we went and dropped her off, and she was still like completely acting like she was rolling harder than ever before. Like, she had no calm down. Like, me and Andrew were pretty calm at this point. We were relaxed. We were coming down. You know, we were still rolling, but like, we were coming down at this point. So we weren't like super in it, like everything's hot, sweating balls, blast the air in the car. You know, we were more like just chilled out, but still feeling really happy and really good and loving music, you know? So we drop her off, and she's just like pretending that she's just on top of the fucking world. Like, it's ridiculous. She gives us both another hug. She's like, I love you guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow. And like, she goes back inside. I'm pretty sure she got popped for this actually by her parents, got grounded if I remember correctly, but don't quote me on that. But anyways, so now it's just me and Andrew, and we're just chilling. And Andrew can't smoke weed, but I can smoke weed. Andrew smokes hella synthetics, but he didn't want to smoke just because he was still feeling good. He was still rolling. He wanted to wait until he completely came down to kind of deal with the come down of Molly, because coming down off Molly feels like shit. So what we ended up doing was we drove to my buddy Chris's house. Him and I smoked a couple blunts while Andrew sat there and smoked some synthetics, and we just kicked it for a little bit until I had to finally go home, which was maybe an hour and a half later. So I went and dropped Andrew off, got back to my house, and at this point I was pretty much sober. You know, like, the come down from Molly feels like shit, so I was like kind of cranky and, you know, just not feeling too prime, but I wasn't high. I wasn't fucked up. I might have been a little bit high, but I wasn't fucked up. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Drop a like if you did. And also, don't forget to check out my second channel. Also, don't forget to send me mail. And also, don't forget to add me on PSN. I will see you guys next time. Peace.